This is section 1.1, points, lines, and planes. So this section is going to establish the base knowledge that we're going to need. It's a lot of vocabulary, and our main focus today is being able to name things, recognize things, and name things. So the three basic things that we have in geometry are points, lines, and planes. So a point, like we know, it has no dimension. It's represented by a capital letter. Okay, so when we name it, we either write the word point and then the capital letter or just the capital letter. A line has one dimension, okay, and it's represented by a line with two arrowheads. Okay, those arrows are actually kind of important. And you can either name it using this lowercase letter on the side, right over here, or you can name it using 2 points with a line over it. Okay, notice that it doesn't matter if it's line AB or line BA, it still represents the same thing. The last one here is a plane. Okay, a plane is like a flat surface. It has 2 dimensions. It's represented by a shape, usually a parallelogram. And you name it with either 3 points or the single letter in the corner that isn't a point. So notice there's a difference between M, that it's not a point. So M represents plane M, or we can say plane ABC using 3 points. So make sure you know the difference between naming a line and naming a plane and how you name them. A few more terms that we have. A line segment. Okay, it's like you took a line and you just cut it into one piece and it stops. Okay, lines go on forever and ever in both directions. Segments stop at endpoints. You're going to name them basically the same way you would with lines. So this would be segment AB, and you would just draw a bar over AB. You wouldn't have the arrows on it, you would have the bar. So it would look like this. A ray starts at one point and it goes on and on forever in the direction of the second point. So we would name this one ray AB. We can either write the word ray or draw the arrow on top. Notice that first letter has to be the end point. Okay, so it starts with A and goes on in the direction of B. Opposite rays are 2 rays going in different directions to form a line. So in this example, ray CA and ray CB are opposite rays because they form that straight line. So let's try using what we've learned to do an example. So let's first talk about points. We'll do points in, how about yellow? So points, remember we named them using a capital letter. There are 3 points on this figure. So you have P, you have M, and you have Q. Notice that B and A don't have the dot by them, so those are not points. All right, let's do orange for lines. So remember, there are 2 ways to do lines. You can either write it using that little lowercase letter by an arrow, or you can use 2 points. So if we look at this line right here, that one only has 1 point on it, so we're going to have to name it using that lowercase letter right there. So this is line K. Oops, here we go. All right, now let's look at the other line. This one does not have a lowercase letter on it, so we're going to name it using 2 points. So there are different options here. Doesn't matter which 2 points you use. So we could have line PQ, Make sure you draw that little line over it. You could have it PM, or you could have MQ. Remember, with lines, it doesn't matter. If you wanted to say line QP or line MP or line QM, that works as well. Just make sure you're using those 2 points with that line on top. Let's do rays. Okay. Rays, remember, you start at one point and you go on forever in the other direction. In this case, there are 2 rays that we can see on this figure. And they happen to be opposite rays. So the first one is right here. That one, we would name it ray MQ. Make sure you have that little ray over the top. And then our second ray is going the opposite direction. So that's ray MP. Remember, you start with M and go in the direction of P. That's it for rays. And last but not least, we have planes. We have 2 planes here that are intersecting. Let's look at the one that's going up and down. So we can either name planes using a capital letter in the corner or 3 points. In this case, the vertical plane only has that capital letter in the corners, so we have plane B. And then let's look at the horizontal one. Okay, we have that capital letter in the corners, so that one's plane A. Or we can use 3 points and name it plane PMQ. A little bit more vocabulary. Collinear points are just points that are on the same line. Coplanar points are points that are on the same plane. And the intersection is where 2 things meet or what they have in common. So when we have 2 lines that intersect, they intersect at a point. When we have 2 planes that intersect, they'll intersect at a line. And then we have a line and a plane. Okay, we're going to focus on this line. They intersect at a point. So let's try to apply that. Name 2 collinear points. Okay, well, we need to find a line, which we have a line right here. So we just have to name 2 points that are on that line. So we could have any combination of A, F, and B. Doesn't matter, just pick 2 of them. Let's do 2 coplanar points. Okay, coplanar means that they're on the same plane. So we're looking at that parallelogram right there. So any point that's on that plane, you just got to pick 2 of them. So it could be K, it could be H, F, or G. Notice that M is not a point, that's actually naming plane M. And last but not least, the intersection of plane M and line AB. Okay, so think about it. If you have a piece of paper and you stuck a pencil through it, we want to figure out where that pencil is meeting the paper. In this case, the line goes through the plane at point F. Sometimes it's hard to see, but the ones in the book should be a little bit more clear. So the intersection is point F. And that is it for section 1.1.